Bulls Nation, you cannot be upset with this effort tonight. The Bulls lost to the Bucks in a really close, low-scoring, absolutely no threes type of game in Milwaukee. First time these two teams have gone up against each other, and the Bulls are missing Lonzo, Levine, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr. You cannot be mad at this effort by this Bulls team. So I want to kind of talk about this game, break it down a little bit, show you what changed from the third quarter to the fourth quarter defensively for the Bucks and how they got the win. But before I get into it all, make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Close one in Milwaukee. Unfortunately, the Bulls fell just short in a really, really low scoring affair because, my gosh, look at these 3-point percentages. 18% for the Bulls, 19% for the Bucks. These are two teams that are pretty good from the 3-point line. Now, the Bulls don't take a lot of threes, but we usually make a lot of the threes that we take, right? We usually shoot a high percentage from that range, but obviously that was not the case tonight. And for the Bucks, they take a bunch of threes, and obviously when you take a bunch of threes, you're going to make a bunch. And they actually took less than the Bulls, as their 3-point shot was not going down at all. But a couple things I want to point out here. It was kind of already pointed out in the postgame show a little bit. First off, the Bulls I thought did a good job of taking care of the ball. They did not have that many turnovers that led to the Bucks getting out into the fast break. You cannot turn the ball over against this Bucks team because they have someone named Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that dude can literally go across the floor in an instant, and it's an easy bucket if you give up those turnovers to the Bucks. So you cannot turn the ball over, and I thought the Bulls did a good job. They did not turn the ball over. The thing is this. The Bulls, if you look at the total rebounds, I think they're only out-rebounded by 5. Or actually, it's more than that, excuse me. But this is the difference here. The offensive rebounds kill the Bulls. And it's unfortunate to see this because, and I understand the Bulls play small. That's just going to be an issue for us as we continue. And I expect AK to do something about it. But this is the issue right here. We cannot give up all these offensive rebounds, give the Bucks too many second chances, and against a championship caliber team, you cannot do that. So kind of just the problems that we saw in this game, but the positives was good defense. I thought this was really a test for this Bulls team because we all know that you can't stop Giannis. This is something that I keep iterating to people. Like, I understand we can't stop Giannis, but you can at least make it hard for him. You can make life difficult. And I thought Giannis, he had 30 points, but it was a really rough 30 points for him. The dude had to work hard to get all 30 points. And he was even taking some shots, like some, post, like the Dirk fadeaway shots or some pull-up threes. And that's what you want when you face Giannis. Again, you can't stop Giannis. There is no way you can stop Giannis from being Giannis. But you can still make him work extremely hard for him to get his 30. And I thought the Bulls did that today. And that's all I was honestly looking for. Now, here's the thing. I think you can stop the other guys on this Bucks team. I'm looking at the Chris Middletons, the Drew Holidays, right? You can stop that team, or those guys on this Bucks team, right? And I really thought that the Bulls, they really made life tough for those guys. Like Chris Middleton, a 6 for 15 night, only 1 3. That's a win if you're the Bulls. You can do that against Chris Middleton, right? You can't stop this dude right here, but you can stop this dude. And they did a good job of making sure Chris Middleton didn't get off. And that's really good to see. The other dude here is Drew Holiday. Now, I think in the box score doesn't show what Drew Holiday did in this game. I thought he played actually really, really well, even when he was coming off the bench. But it's your job, if you're the Bulls, to stop this guy as well. And also, I thought they did a good job with Bobby Portis, and shot 1 for 7 for 3-point range. Now, granted, he missed a lot of open ones, but they didn't allow him to get open shots in the paint really all game, and that's what you want with this Bucks team. Make the others try to beat you, but also try to contain them. Like, if you can force Chris Middleton to take the shot instead of Giannis, obviously, but also force a contested shot, that's a win. That's all you can ask for with this Bucks team, and the Bulls did that in this game. Hence, look at the low-scoring affair, right? So, just really good job overall, I thought, with this Bucks team, because you're not stopping this dude, but you can definitely contain the other guys really, really effectively, and they did that. Big shout out to Tyler Cook here. Tyler Cook, he just got back from injury. He didn't play against the game against the Cavaliers. And all of a sudden, he's thrown back into the starting lineup, making his first career start. and he has to guard arguably the best player in basketball right now. That's not easy. And he picked up 2 early fouls, which one of them wasn't a foul. Then he picked up a third foul pretty early as well. Again, not really a foul, but he did a good job of making Giannis work hard. He drew 2 offensive fouls on Giannis. Again, you just make him work hard. Make him use that little extra effort that could potentially lead to a charge when you're guarding Giannis. And honestly, man, it's come to that point where I've loved Tyler Cook in his limited minutes when he was playing, especially during a winning streak. And now, I mean, he showed that he can play the power forward position as well. He's not just a center. He can play the power forward position and guard, and give pretty good effort against one of the best players in the game. I think this dude deserves a contract. I don't know about you, but he's on a 2-way deal. I think it's important to have this guy, especially in the playoffs. So we need him to get on an NBA contract. So it'll be interesting to see what AK does. Unfortunately, though, I mean, I thought he played really well, but what limited his play time was the fouls, and we saw that he wasn't able to play down the stretch because he had 5 fouls. And also Vucevic had 5 fouls, so you can't have both guys having 5 fouls or else no one's going to guard the paint. So that's kind of, I think he kind of deserves a lot of credit for this game. And obviously, we need to talk about DeMar DeRozan. This dude put the team on his back tonight, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. He got to the free throw line all game, shot really efficiently, and he did miss a 3 at the end that could have potentially taken the lead, but you know what? You can't get everything, right? So that's the really good stuff I thought from today. Also, Alex Caruso, who took a hard fall. I want to talk about that Grayson Allen foul in a second here. And shout out Matt Thomas. This dude gets a lot of criticism, and even I'm a big critic of him because I think his defense is just non-existent at points. I saw him get back cut a lot this game. But, the thing he can do is shoot the ball, and he did not shoot well in the first half, but he shot well in the second half, and we desperately needed all 3 of these threes. So, good job by him. But for the other guys, I mean, here's the thing: if you're a Bulls fan, we obviously are missing, our backcourt with Lonzo and LaVine out, no Javonte, no Derrick Jones Jr., so missing 2 really important defenders. But I thought in this game, I would assume it did not have that great of a game. I thought he was passing pretty well. He was defending Chris Middleton all game pretty well. But in terms of scoring, I mean, this dude felt like he just couldn't make a shot. Kobe White had an awful game shooting, 0 for 9 from 3-point range, and he was getting wide open looks all night. But even with all of this, even if these 2 guys who played so well recently, they struggled, and I thought Vucevic did not have the greatest game either. I thought he could have taken advantage of some matchups down low. Hey, we were within 4 of this team. We're missing 4 key guys, and our backcourt today, who isn't usually starting, they had a really rough game. You have to be happy for your Bulls fan. Now, granted, I don't think the Bucks missed those as many threes as they did tonight on a nightly basis, but it's still promising to see this Bulls team to be able to go up against this Bucks team, not fold, 1, but 2, a pretty good fight, and a lot of guys are struggling today, and we were within 4. So it just take the positives from this game because, again, I didn't expect this team to win. I didn't expect the Bulls to win this game, but I expect them to put up a fight. Not only did they put up a fight, they gave themselves a chance to win. So you gotta just be happy with that. Just a quick look at the standings here. So as we currently speak, the Brooklyn Nets, they have now taken over the top seed in the Eastern Conference. The Miami Heat actually lost to the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta actually blew a double-digit lead with 4 minutes left, excuse me. But they somehow held on. So the Heat also lost tonight, which is good for the Bulls. So the Bulls stay ahead of the Heat. They stay in the 2nd seed now. Brooklyn, they won in San Antonio tonight. No KD, obviously, but the other 2 out there definitely carry the team. So right now the Bulls are here. Obviously, I mean, 1 win, we could definitely jump back up, and we face the Thunder next, I believe. So we need to get some wins, especially because we're missing a lot of key guys right now. So right now, Bulls, they're out of the top seed Eastern Conference. I did not think the Bulls would ever be the top seed Eastern Conference at all this year, so it was good. While they were up there, they could definitely get back up there. But right now we're sitting 2nd, and as you can see, the East is tight, man. I mean, even though Milwaukee won against us tonight, I mean, they're still a game behind us, but that's just 1 game. And even, I mean, if you look down to Charlotte here in the 7th seed, they're only 3.5 games behind Brooklyn. So it's just really, really crammed right now in the East. So Bulls need to continue to win to make sure they stay afloat and not drop down, because if they have another 4-game losing streak, then they can really go down. So that's important just to keep track of as we get guys back hopefully soon, with LaVine coming back early next week. So let's talk about this here, because DeMar DeRozan had a phenomenal game. He's getting to the free throw line all game. The Bucks continue to foul him, and I don't know why. But I want to show you what changed, because I was even tweeting this out. DeMar went on a pretty good run at the end of the third quarter, and he usually ends the third quarter. And you usually see DeMar kind of go to work because this is when it's just his time. But the Bucks were doing a really interesting defense because they had Giannis at center here, and this is when the Bulls were extremely small because we had Tyler Cook at center, and he's 6'8". So you just spread the floor, let DeMar go to work, and it's just a simple pick and roll, clear out the side here. But what I was really interested to see was, like, how are the Bucks going to guard this? And for some odd reason, the Bucks were like, hey, we're going to hard hedge so DeRozan can't turn the corner, but then we're going to bring Giannis back out and have him go back to his man who set the screen. And that's interesting because we've seen, as LaVine's been out, right, that a lot of teams double DeMar DeRozan, and they force the ball out of his hands. And that's why I'm like, why are the Bucks not doing this? Especially when you have, a really good defensive team that can get everywhere. I mean, Giannis at center is one of the hardest things to go against because he is so athletic and go from side to side in an instant. So why are you not doubling DeMar? And you see this, like, it's a hard hedge, even a blitz, honestly. But you see DeRozan just take it back out, and Giannis goes back. And this is what the Bulls wanted. This is what DeMar wants. Wesley Matthews is a pretty decent defender, but DeMar can still shoot over him. And you see Giannis, he's just getting back. You saw Drew Holiday come over the pre-rotation to guard Tyler Cook so DeMar can't dump it off, but it's still then, all of a sudden, it's a one-on-one matchup. And you see here, DeMar just with his footwork, gets to his spot, just gets Wesley Matthews off balance, fade away, and hits the shot. And, I mean, this is something that I keep, people are always so confused. Like, how does DeMar, create space or get to the rim, even with the pick and roll? Because you see sometimes teams go under that screen just to, force him to be a shooter. But that screen itself, it allows DeMar to get like a downhill and force the defenders to back up. And that's all he needs to just get into his spot. The screen just allows him just to maneuver into that mid-range area if you don't double him. And that's what you saw right here. Even though the Bucks blitzed DeMar initially, they then ran back, but then that gives DeMar just that enough time to just get to his spot, get his defender off balance, and then hit that mid-range shot. So that was going well for the Bulls at the end of the third quarter, but then you saw this happen. And this is actually a good thing that actually comes from this play, but you're going to see the difference right here. This is the fourth quarter now. DeMar top the key. I actually was saying, like, I don't think the Bulls need to run a pick and roll right now because if you run that pick and roll and now the Bucks are doubling, you're bringing another guy to the ball and you want DeMar with the ball in his hands. I would much rather have DeMar go one-on-one, try to bring another defender while he's in the middle of his move, and then, kick it out. It's just the reason why I keep saying I think he needs to post up. I think Donovan needs to actually consider just isolating the side, let DeMar post up, because he can get a shot over even the taller defenders than him. So it's like, let DeMar post up. If they bring the double on the post up, it's a much easier thing for the rest of the team to use because you're not asking someone else to create for the team. If you see what happens here, what tends to happen is when DeMar gets doubled, you then throw it to Vucevic, and then he then throws it to someone else, right? Or sometimes it's DeMar gets doubled and he has to pass it to that next man. And without LaVine out there on the floor, you're asking guys like Kobe White, Al Dosunmu, etc., to make a play with the basketball, and that's what you don't want. You do not want that if you're the Bulls, but if you're the opposing team, you want that because that's who you want to have the ball and make decisions. So that's the problem right here with this Bulls team, and I think, honestly, if you just post up DeMar, it opens up so much if they come and double him because he can then throw it to a guy who's cutting, and all they have to do is just lay it up and in. Or he can throw it out to a three-point shooter, and all they have to do is shoot it. Instead of throwing it to, if you're at the top, you get double. Instead of throwing it to somebody and asking them to make a play, posting up is just going to open up so much more for this team. But, I'm not the coach, unfortunately. So you see here what happens is that they come up and they absolutely just double DeMar, and so then he throws it off to Vucevic. And you see here that Giannis is coming over to guard Vucevic, but his man is Tyler Cook. Now, this is the good stuff that we saw. out of this because Vucevic is such a good passer. But you know, I'm happy to see Tyler Cook run to the rim. We should have saw more of this later in the game because you see Vucevic gets the ball right here, and Giannis was the guy guarding Tyler Cook. This is a good job by Iowa to then move up to allow space for Tyler Cook to then get a baseline run. And with Giannis over here, as two guys kind of collapse onto Vucevic, Giannis doesn't see Tyler Cook. It's a dump off baseline pass to Tyler Cook, and I trust Tyler Cook to finish at the rim because he is very, very good at doing that. So that's the good stuff that we saw. But as I mentioned, a lot of that fourth quarter was double DeMar, ask someone else to make a play or shoot the shot. That's what you don't want with this Bulls team, and without LaVine, that's going to be the case. So I honestly just think let DeMar go one-on-one, or let DeMar go in the post and see if that can create open shots for the rest of the team, or obviously just let DeMar go one-on-one. Don't bring that extra defender to him. Let him just operate and get a shot. I think that's probably the best thing moving forward, as LaVine is hopefully going to come back soon. So tough loss for this Bulls team, but I think it's one of those good losses. Again, you just asked for effort. They gave effort, got a chance to win. Unfortunately, you didn't pull out the win, but that's okay. And it's important now for the Bulls. So now I'm pretty sure it's OKC next to go into OKC. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's Orlando next. Excuse me. Go into Orlando and get a win against the Magic. And keep staying afloat in that Eastern Conference before LaVine and others get back. So that's all I have for you in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tough loss for this Bulls team, but I thought it was a pretty decent loss. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Bulls versus Magic next on Sunday. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.